Welcome, dear friends, to Cardiac Radio at 11 p.m., nourishing our souls with the Spirit of Truth. This book that has been bringing new life to all of us. It's a book that brings not only the truth, but it opens new horizons for us, setting us free. And today, through the hands of Chico Xavier, we have a message by the Spirit Emmanuel. Emmanuel, the coordinator of this work, inspired in chapter 9, item 1. Chapter 9, in the Gospel according to Spiritism, is titled, Blessed are the meek and the peacemakers. And item 1 is a quote from Jesus. The Beatitudes, as in Matthew 5:4, blessed are the meek, for they shall possess the earth. I don't think to date we understand what it means because we don't teach our children that. We say to our children, and it has been so for generations, that those who will possess the earth are the ones who are the strongest, who are the bravest, who are. But that's not what Jesus said. He said that those who will possess the earth, and what does he mean by possessing the earth? Because nothing is ours, everything is God's. But he meant those who will be aligned with the divine plan of our planet are the meek. Blessed are they. But what is to be meek? Yeah, it's a word that doesn't sound all too good in English. But in the eyes of the Christ, to be meek is to be mild. To be meek is to be calm. To be meek is not to compete. To be meek is to surrender. But not that surrender that makes us passive, submissive, but an active surrender. When we, like Stephen in the book Poland Stephen by Emmanuel through Chico Xavier, we see Stephen being this meek person. He was peaceful, he was calm, he was mild, he would temper his emotions so well that even in the midst of their imprisonment, the arrest of the whole family, when he faced the brutal, cruel death of his father in front of him as he was being beaten up and then sent to slavery, in all instances, he got irritated, he got angry, he got mad. No, he understood that if God allowed us to go through those things, there must be a good reason. That's the way we need to absorb how to face adversities. Today, Emmanuel, through Chico Xavier, 60 years ago, he brought to us, and now in English, in 2021, a message named Danger. We kept the title because he wants to warn us. It's the truth. And he begins talking about when we are not meek. He talks about the opposite, which is something we know. He begins, every time irritation hits you in your mind, you are close to a danger signal. So being irritated is dangerous. Why? He continues, even if everything seems to conspire to your detriment, do not convert the emotion into cholera or wrath, like a bomb that explodes in your mouth. So he's saying, do not react. He's saying, do not react. Do not get angry. Do not be irritated. The imbalance you note is the request of life for your cooperation. So if we're seeing something wrong, life is asking us to help. When the waters in mountains invest furiously on the strip of soil that serves as your habitation, your house, you create a dike capable of governing the impulses. Before fire, the fire that threatens you, you immediately go after fire extinguishers. Every time there is a short circuit, surges in the power grid, you go there and you turn off the electrical outlet, controlling the possible destruction. So, in the same way, when trials visit you, do not transfigure your tongue into a whip of the neighbors. The first thing he talks about is the mouth and the tongue, because that's when we first let our irritation out, our anger out. Now he's going to give us other scenarios. If verbal aggression spanks your ears, build the wall of faithfully performed duty in which you defend yourself against the assault of injury. So he's saying, if somebody is aggressive to us verbally, he says, keep being faithful to your duty. And he says that that builds a wall that defends yourself. Because if people, they badmouth us, oh, that person is talking to them and saying, I'm not, it's not going to resolve because people have their own minds, right? They do. But then we think, why am I going to stop doing my things to go there and resolve it? Sometimes we do this in families and it gets more complicated. It is what it is. Let it go. Forget the past. Forgive the past. Let go. Don't rewind the tape and bring it because it's not going to become good. No negative comment will turn into a positive situation. So why not invest in the good? Sometimes we do that in our relationships, like marital relationships, romantic relationships. We dislike something and then we say, I'm going to tell the person so they know. But sometimes the best decision is just to forgive, forget, and move on. Because the other person may not be ready at all for that information that we're going to give. And look at Jesus. Jesus himself, as described in the book, Good News, he was in the city of Nazareth. He performed healings. He preached. He talked to people very kindly. And the disciples were happy about it. They were like, yay, it was great. And then suddenly Jesus says, open your ears and hear what they are saying now. And then they all heard people making comments saying, I'm not so sure if he's really a prophet, if he's really a master. They were doubting Jesus. They were slandering Jesus. What did Jesus do? He had the power. He didn't use it for any aggression, not even passive aggression. He didn't say anything. And told to the disciples, let's go to another city, Capernaum. And it wasn't around the corner. They had to walk for some hours. And then the disciples were outraged. They were like, are you kidding us? Come on, they're slandering you. We need to say something. We need to do something. And Jesus said, no, it's not worth it. People are who they are. But we are who we are. And we need to keep doing what we keep doing. This is a lesson for us. No vanity, humility. If I stay and fight, I am proving a point in terms of my ego. My ego is center stage. You don't like me, I'm going to show you how. No. On the other hand, Jesus was humble. He said, let them be. They don't understand, we move to the next city. That's what we're learning with Emmanuel. If slander strikes us, keep yourself in peace in the refuge of prayer. Slander, prayer. Good to know that that's a tool at hand. Faithful to the duty in prayer. If the offended dignity inside of you appears transformed into a trigger for the outbreak of revolt, let silence hush you until the cloud of the crisis leaves your sight. So at all instances, Emmanuel, in true Christ consciousness, is teaching us something that we need to write down. Oh yeah, whiteboard, we need you. Right, friends? So here we have it. We're going to write, okay, a big thing here. It's our main lesson for today. Oh, sorry, it's not the stamp that I want. It's this one. Oh yeah, we need this big as possible. And we're gonna write here. We're gonna write about do not react to others. Or, in other words, stop the chain of reactivity. Yes, people can do whatever they like. Jesus was never offended. He was never offended. He was never offended. We shouldn't be offended either, right? Yes. So stopping the chain of reactivity. He's saying, do not react. And second, focus. He's saying, do not react, focus on you, on your duty. Sometimes because our inertia, some form of laziness inside of us, right? We're building muscle. We like to blame others for things, saying, I didn't do it because they didn't tell me, just like children. I did it because they did it. Mm-mm-mm. It's childish, right? Right, Virginia? It is childish, right?
If an adult ever does that,
it's childish.
And if you're an adult, you've done that, you're
gonna really regret it. Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Virginia. So Emmanuel is teaching us that. He says, pray. If people are aggressive to us, let's keep focusing. Okay, I respect that person. May not be doing well, because if they were happy, they wouldn't speak to me like that. So it's their problem, not mine. I can pray.
Maybe they're not happy.
They're not happy. So we're not going to be unhappy just because they're not happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can help by praying. Praying for us, praying for them, right? And be silent. Sometimes somebody wants to hurt us, and we can just go away, be silent, and wait for the crisis to go away, like a storm. You wait. So today is a true lesson on emotional management here. Spiritism is fascinating, giving us tools that are so precious and really effective. We're not talking about being passive aggressive. We're talking about not being aggressive. We've been there, done that for many lives, many lives. Many lives we have been in the middle of reactivity, aggression. Now Emmanuel is saying, Get out of that reactivity. You're not an animal. You're no longer instinct only. You're reasoning. Let us use our reasoning and build emotional muscle, spiritual height, emotional muscle, spiritual height, Mentor Joseph is saying. Especially in front of an angry fellow, do not aggravate their anger. Nobody heals a mad person by beating them up on the head. So somebody's like, even as children, when we see an adult being upset, the child can also learn to say, understand from the get-go and say, well, that adult is not happy, because if this adult were happy, they wouldn't be saying that to me. I'm not going to get contaminated by that emotion. I'm not going to react. And Emmanuel finalizes this beautiful message today that starts with irritation and ends by talking about aggressions. If someone throws the blow of intemperance of spirit on your face, if someone throws a stone of insult on you, forgive them unconditionally. If they hurt you again, it's essential to recognize that you are in the presence of a patient, a person who is sick, in serious condition, asking for your support in understanding and compassion. This lesson here, sincerely, is out of majority of people's sights on earth. We know some people who are good on this, understanding and compassion. I remember when there was a serial killer in Pennsylvania, and was it Sandy Hook, the elementary school? And the milkman went in and killed several kids. The Amish, who were the parents of majority of the kids there, they forgave the man in ways that people don't understand. They understood that he was off. They felt compassion. As a neuroscientist, I understand that when people are behaving in such a way, their brain is providing a perception that is different. What they are seeing is not what we're seeing. So we look at those people. Hopefully, people can look at us when we are mad and say, the inner chemistry of their brain is not working well. But you and I know that we're more than a brain. We're immortal spirits. And we know that our evolution is at a certain level. So I understand the level of the person. I'm not going to say it's easier, but it's a practice we need to do. So one day we'll be not only like Jesus, the top of example, but look at Jeziel, Stephen in Poland, Stephen. He was killed, he was stoned to death because he was Christian, he believed in Jesus. When at the very end, he sees his sister coming in, and his sister tells him, to his surprise and her surprise, that the man who ordered his stoning was her fiancé. What did he do? He was bleeding. He was almost dead. Was he furious? No. He said, I bless the two of you. And I know one day, Saul of Tarsus will be a great disseminator of Jesus' teachings. When Saul of Tarsus heard it, he was like shocked. He's never seen anybody feeling compassion for him like that. He didn't want that compassion. He he didn't want to feel wronged. He was too proud. But Stephen was right. Later, when Stephen discarnated, he helped the very Saul of Tarsus who became Paul. He was mentoring Paul of Tarsus from the spiritual realm. Yeah.
So the story of Paul and Saul, it all starts with when he went on his horse and went around in cities, putting people that were Christian in jail.
Yeah.
Then, when he was searching for someone Christian, Jesus had a light. It was so much light he fell from his horse down to the ground, couldn't see.
Yeah. And then what happened next?
Jesus said, "Why are you threatening my people?"
Yeah.
And then after a few talks with Jesus, he became new. He had a new heart.
And then he began loving Jesus so much.
And he began preaching preaching Jesus all around the city. And do you know what he did that was big? He shared Jesus with Julius Caesar.
Yeah, with the Roman emperor. Right? And that was huge.
Big.
And yet,
bigger than huge.
Yeah.
Hugest.
Did he believe Jesus after that? The emperor? No.
No.
Not then. Maybe now. As he is somewhere else in the universe. We don't know where he is, right? Reincarnated or not.
Maybe
right?
he's on Neptune.
Thank you, Virginia. Thank you so much for this summary of Paul, Saul of Tarsus, and now reminding us that today, if there is one person we'll be inspired at, will be Stephen, as in the book Paul and Stephen. His meekness, his moderation, his temperance, his mildness. So in the next 24 hours, of course, you and I are being invited to practice mildness. You're going to react and you breathe in and say, "Oh, Stephen, I want to be just like you." Right? That's what we're going to repeat. "Oh, Stephen, I want to be just like you." And then everything that happens, you're going to be angry, you're going to be upset, you're going to be irritated. Breathe in and out and say, "I am mild as Stephen. I am mild as Stephen." All right? Because we want to inherit the earth. We want to be here because this planet is becoming great. Not only because of that, but we want to participate in the building of a new earth. Don't you? Don't you want to participate? So everybody is being welcomed to the Air Kardec Radio to join the group of those who will build a new era on earth, a new earth, mild, meek, not reactive. As we practice tranquility, told by Andrea Luiz, be mild as Emmanuel is recommending to us. Friends, we want to thank you so much for being here with us for this precious moment of learning together. And we wish you many blessings in this next 24 hours where we're going to add to the earth more mildness, more meekness. Thank you, friends. See you tomorrow.